this video segment, we're going to talk about vehicle detailing, which is another way of saying cleaning a vehicle. And cleaning a vehicle is something the average person can do. It doesn't require a lot of expertise or any real special tools. However, when we're doing it at the professional level, there's a couple of important differences. First important difference is, as a professional, we know that professionals pay attention to the little things, the details. When it comes to detailing, a professional is going to clean areas that the average person probably wouldn't or may not even notice that need to be cleaned. So as a professional, we'll pay attention to the details, the little things when it comes to cleaning. And secondly, as a professional, the speed at which we clean the vehicle will be much different than the average person. So as a professional, time's money, and it's not that we don't do a good job, we clean, we do it in a focused manner. We have a system or a routine in place, and we clean the vehicle very efficiently and thoroughly without wasting a lot of time. So those are a couple of important differences when it comes to detailing a vehicle as a professional. And here at MPC Auto Tech, you'll be detailing vehicles in the Auto 100 class, in some cases in the Friday class, and in any class that you're working on one of the school vehicles, when your team has a school vehicle assigned, prior to the final customer pickup, you're going to thoroughly detail that vehicle before being graded on it. So, where the process starts, just like when we're doing mechanical work in the shop, we start by getting a toolbox. When it comes to detailing, we're going to get our detailing tools, except we call it the detail cart, and that'll be located in the cleaning supplies room. Okay, so we'll come into the detail supplies room and grab one of the detail carts. It should have most everything we need. And our first stop is going to be to do an inventory. So we'll stop over here by the basket with the toolbox, the Bait Toolbox inventory sheets. And just like we do with the Bait Toolboxes, before we start work, we make sure all our tools are there. We do a quick inventory of the toolbox. In this case, our toolbox is the detail cart. So I've got the detail cart inventory sheet. I'm going to look here and make sure that everything is there. Yeah, we've got some applicators, some brushes, squeegee, the cloths and the bucket. So we'll do the inventory, put my name down, the date, the class, and we'll check that off as complete. Put the inventory sheet back in the basket. And before we head outside to actually do some detail work, we got to pick up some products. So we'll head over to the product cart. All right, now that we've got our detail cart with the tools we're going to need, we're also going to need to get some products, some cleaning products. And to get our cleaning products, we'll come over here to the product cart. And on the product cart, we've got auto detailing supplies, which of course is what we're interested in here today. But we also have some shop cleaning supplies. And just to make sure we're clear on what these are used for versus the detailing supplies, the shop cleaning supplies, of course, are used for shop cleaning chores. The degreaser we use to clean any grease or oil spills on the floor. We also can use the equipment shine to clean some of the shop equipment, like the alignment machine or the tire machine or the tire balancer. We use the equipment shine, which is essentially a furniture polish, keep that equipment looking good. We also have some glass cleaner we call glass shine. And finally, we've got stainless shine, which, you guessed it, it's used for the bench tops, both in the shop and in the classroom, and keep those looking good. Okay, so those are shop cleaning supplies. Shop cleaning supplies we use, again, only for cleaning shop stuff. When it comes to cleaning vehicles, doing detail work, we'll use only the auto detailing supplies. And in this case, we've got roughly 8 products. We're only going to use roughly 5 of those 8 products. So we're going to grab those 5 products right now, starting with the interior cleaner. So we'll take that interior cleaner, we'll hook it on our detail cart, bring the detail cart a little closer here. We're also going to be using some glass cleaner, the wipe and shine, the tire and trim dressing, and finally, the all-purpose dressing. So we've got our products for the most part. One last thing we're going to need is the actual car wash soap. And to get the car wash soap, we're going to put that in the 5-gallon bucket that sits underneath the detail cart. So we got our 5-gallon bucket here. We're going to come over to the side of the product cart, and we'll take this long hose, put it in the bucket, and we're going to make sure that the faucet is on. So this product cart is actually connected to a garden hose over here. We'll make sure the hose faucet is on. And we'll walk over here to the system selector, and there's a button here that says car soap. We just press that button, and what you'll see is some pink colored fluid going into this 5-gallon bucket. And we're going to fill the bucket roughly halfway up with vehicle detailing soap. Now, vehicle detailing soap is a little different than dishwashing soap, for instance. You know, a lot of people are tempted to use dishwashing soap to clean their vehicle. And although the soap does a good job of removing dirt and some of the stains and so on, it may also remove some of the finish we put on to protect the paint, like some car waxes and so on. Dish soap will strip away some of those products we put on the paint to protect it. So in general, when it comes to vehicle detailing, when we use car soap, that car soap's going to be a milder detergent, and it's not going to strip away some of those products that we put on the paint to protect it. So we've got our car soap specifically designed as a mild detergent, and we got the bucket halfway full, ready to go. And you'll notice there's some other settings on this Select Detail Center device. And we may need to use them from time to time if we go to any of the detail products or some of the shop cleaning products. We may notice that the degreaser, for instance, the bottle's empty and we need some degreaser. If we want to fill up the bottle, we just remove the lid and we'll select degreaser here on the dial. And you'll notice there's a shorter hose. That hose goes in the bottle, and we just press this button to the left of the car soap button, and we can fill up our degreaser bottle. Again, something that you don't often need to do, but it's good to know how to do it in case you do need it. Okay, so we've got our car wash soap ready to go. Just get any extra water off. We'll put that at the base of our cart, and let's head outside. So we've got our detail cart with our detail tools all stocked up with products, cleaning products. So we're ready to start detailing the vehicle. And when we bring the vehicle in, we're not going to park it in the direct sun. We'll use either bay 7 or 8. And the reason for that, when you're cleaning a vehicle and you've got soap or water on the vehicle, and if it's in the sun, that soap or water is going to dry very quickly. And if it were to dry on the paint's finish, it may stain. It will stain the finish, and those stains will be difficult to remove. So it's very important that when you're washing the exterior of a vehicle that you're doing so in the shade, and of course bay 7 and 8 provide adequate shade. Another thing to remember, when we bring the vehicle in, and we've backed it in this case in bay 8 here, when we bring it in, we should have formed the habit of rolling down the window. Standard industry practice, we're working on a vehicle, we're rolling down the window. However, that presents a problem. When we're going to wash the exterior, we're going to have to roll up the windows. So another important thing to remember, once we roll up the windows, instead of leaving the keys in the ignition, we'll take the keys with us, and we've got a hook on our detail cart, so we'll take those keys and hook them on the detail cart while we're washing the vehicle. So we're ready to give the interior a quick clean, and we'll make sure we've got the vacuum, the shop vac ready to go. And that'll be stored somewhere in the shop or maybe stored out here, so we'll get that plugged in. We'll also make sure we've got a trash bin handy and ready to go. And we'll pull a few of the items we're going to use from the detail cart. We've got these 3 brushes, 3 trim detail brushes. We're going to use those to get in the little cracks and crevices that we couldn't otherwise reach. We also have this carpet brush we'll use to clean the carpet. We've got a microfiber cloth an air nozzle that'll come in handy, glass cleaning cloth, and finally our products here. We're going to use the interior cleaner. That is used to clean all surfaces in the interior of the vehicle. We can use it for carpet, we can use it for leather, we can use it for plastic, vinyl, whatever it is, we can use it to clean. We can use this product to clean it. And we've also got some glass cleaner where we'll clean the interior glass surfaces. Okay, so we're going to start by just removing the big pieces of trash. Okay, just some trash on the floor here. We'll get those pieces of trash out of here. Okay. Some over here. Just the big pieces. And then we're going to grab the carpet mats. We'll pull the carpet mats out and we're going to shake those and set them aside for later. So now we're going to come in with some compressed air. And so we've got our blowgun, our air nozzle attached to the air hose. Something important to keep in mind, you'll notice this particular air nozzle is not the same one we find in the toolboxes. It doesn't have the safety attachment. And we know that with this compressed air, there's enough pressure to actually force air through our skin or rupture an eardrum or something like that. So we have to be pretty careful with this compressed air. But it's going to be really handy when it comes to dislodging dirt and debris that we wouldn't otherwise be able to access. So we'll take our blowgun and, like I said, spray it around under the seats, beside the seats, on the instrument panel and so on, in areas that we wouldn't otherwise be able to get to with the shop vac. And then we'll come back in after and vacuum it up with the shop vac. We got under the seats here, beside the seats, on the instrument panel. So we're ready now to vacuum up the dirt and debris that we previously dislodged with the compressed air. So we'll turn on the shop vac and we'll quickly go through the entire vehicle on the seats, instrument panel and so on, and do a thorough vacuum job. Now we're ready to go to work with some of our interior cleaner degreaser. We'll just, spray some of the interior surfaces, just lightly mist them. And if there's a lot of little nooks and crannies and so on, we'll take one of our detail brushes. Again, we've got roughly 3 of them here. I can spray a little of the degreaser on the detail brush and get into some of the areas that we wouldn't otherwise get into with a rag. And like I was saying earlier, I'm not going to spend a lot of time. We'll just quickly go over some of those areas. A quick clean here. And then we'll take our microfiber cloth, just wipe it down, wipe it dry. Just like that. And then we'll move on to the dashboard so we can spray down the instrument panel or dashboard with some of the detail spray. We can either spray directly onto the surface or we can spray it on the microfiber cloth first and then wipe it down. We'll do the same thing with the seats. And then when it comes to the carpet, we'll lightly mist the carpet like this and just avoid heavy use of it, because if we put too much of the cleaner into the carpet, it may be difficult to dry and we could end up with mold or mildew problems. So just a light mist, and we're going to take our carpet brush and we'll agitate it. Just agitate the carpet. It's basically a quick carpet shampoo. So we'll agitate with the carpet brush, and then before we vacuum it up again, before we vacuum the carpet again, we'll take our microfiber cloth, our cleaning cloth, wrap it around the carpet cleaning brush, and we'll essentially wipe the carpet dry with the rag. And you'll notice you're picking up a fair bit of dirt and debris by doing so. So once we get to this point, we've wiped down the doors, instrument panel, carpet. We're going to come back in with the vacuum and give a quick once over again with the vacuum the second time over, and then we'll move on to the floor mats. And we'll treat the carpet mats just like we'd treat the carpet. We don't need to first vacuum them because we shook them out into the trash can. We'll come in with our interior cleaner degreaser, or interior cleaner, and spray that on lightly. Agitate with the carpet brush. Okay, and once we're done, we'll wrap our rag again around the carpet brush and just try and dry it the best we can. And last step, we'll just give it a quick vacuum. Okay, and move on to the next one. And our final step, as far as the interior goes, we'll use our glass cleaner and give the interior of the windows a quick clean. So we'll lightly mist them with the glass cleaner, get our glass cleaning cloth, and wipe them dry and clean. Getting all the corners and edges. And the interior now is good to go. Now we're ready to wash the exterior of the car. And one of the most important things to remember when it comes to washing the exterior of the car is not to use anything that's abrasive, anything that might scratch the paint. So although it's tempting to use some of these dishwashing scouring pads or something like that, or even one of these brushes on the paint, it's a definite no-no. It's the kind of thing that will put scratches in the paint, and instead of making the finish look better, we're going to make it look worse. That said, one of the most abrasive things that we're going to encounter when it comes to washing the exterior of the car is the dirt that's already on the car. So you can see this particular vehicle has a bunch of dirt that's accumulated just from sitting around. It hasn't been driven in the mud or anything like that. But if you look closely at the finish, you'll notice there's a lot of dirt on there. And that dirt will scratch the finish if we don't first rinse it off. So to get all the grit, the dirt off the car, to rinse the dirt off the car, we're going to get the pressure washer, and we're going to rinse the vehicle starting from the top and working our way down till we've rinsed off all that stuff that will end up scratching our paint. So we've got all that abrasive material washed or rinsed off the vehicle, and now we can start cleaning it with our soap and water. Again, the soap, we're using a mild detergent that's not going to strip off any of those protective finishes, but we'll do a good job of cleaning the exterior. And we're going to be using this wash mitt, and it's important that we first take a quick look at the wash mitt, make sure there's no dirt or grit on there that may scratch the finish. It should be a clean wash mitt. We'll dip it into our bucket of soapy water. And just like we did when we were rinsing it, we'll start working our way from the top down and wash all those exterior surfaces. Lots of suds, lots of soap, and we'll periodically dip the wash mitt back in the bucket of water. Get some fresh soap on there and continue washing those exterior surfaces. Okay, so we've washed all the exterior surface of the vehicle, dipping our wash mitt periodically in the soapy water, making sure we got lots of suds. You noticed I also use this to clean the bumper. However, when it comes to some of the trim, and especially the tires, we won't use the wash mitt. We can use a brush. So this particular brush is labeled for tires and trim, some of the plastic trim, certainly not any painted surfaces, but tires and trim. So we'll dip the brush in the soapy water. We may use some additional wheel cleaners, but for now we're just going to use the soap and water. Okay, and we can wipe down the tire and scrub it down. We also have what we call a spoke brush, so a smaller brush, and that's used to get in between the spokes of the wheel. Okay, now once we've completed all 4 tires, we're going to get ready to rinse. And as I mentioned earlier, it's important that we do not allow the soap to dry on the vehicle. So we soaped it down, all the exterior surfaces are clean. We got to move quickly so the soap isn't able to dry. So we're going to get our pressure washer again, and we'll rinse it just like we did, starting from the top down. Okay, so we've completely rinsed the vehicle. It's clean. However, we want to dry it as well, and we could use a chamois. Chamois is one way to dry the vehicle. That works well. But there's a more efficient way, and on your detail cart, you'll find there's what we call a water blade or a squeegee. And basically what you're going to do, starting from the top down, is simply squeegee the water off the vehicle. The glass and the painted surfaces, squeegee the water. In this case, just find the right. So we want to get the majority of the water off. So the squeegee, you'll notice, does a pretty darn good job of removing most of the water, but not all of it. So you're going to come back in using one of these white detail cloths. And these white detail cloths can be used on the paint, on the glass, any chrome. And we'll come back in and remove any of the remaining water, any water drops. So you'll see on the windshield here, I'll just wipe those up. And what you'll notice, if I did a good job squeegeeing and I come back in with my white detail cloth, you'll notice there's no need for any glass cleaner or anything like that. We've got the glass crystal clear at this point. All right, we've got the exterior dry or mostly dry, and we're going to move on now to the wheels. And instead of using the white detail cloths on the wheels, you'll notice we have some other cloths, some other colored cloths on the detail cart. Of course, we've got the yellow or green detail cloths. Those are used only for interior work. Again, we color code them so we don't mix them up. And we also have a gray cloth, like this one. The gray cloth is used only for drying the wheels. So we're going to use this one to dry these nice aluminum wheels, sometimes called mag wheels. Okay, we'll get in there and get it dry, and then move on to the next one. Okay, we've got all 4 wheels now dry. And there's just a couple of steps left. So we're going to go back to our detail cart. We're going to grab a product called Wipe and Shine, and Wipe and Shine does what it sounds like it does. It just makes the finish a little shinier, brings out some of that shine. It's also going to add some protection to the finish. So we'll grab our white detail cloth, a clean and dry one, and we're going to spray some of the Wipe and Shine on in this small area, and we'll dry it and buff it to a nice shine, and then go to another spot and do the same thing. And once we get all the painted surfaces wiped down with the Wipe and Shine, we're going to apply a little bit of dressing. And dressing is it's kind of like makeup for a car. What it does is makes old surfaces like trim, plastic trim, vinyl, rubber, makes those old surfaces look new again. So we've got 2 different types of dressing. We've got tire and trim dressing, which of course is used for tire and trim, mainly exterior stuff. And we've got this all-purpose dressing that we'll use for some of the interior surfaces, and in some cases some of the parts and pieces under the hood in the engine bay. So today we're just going to focus in on the tires and trim, and we'll use this tire and trim dressing to make the tires, so the rubber, look new again. And we might be tempted just to spray it onto the tires and then maybe wipe it off. That's the wrong approach. Wrong approach basically for 2 reasons. One, if we get any overspray on the body or some of the other parts of the vehicle, it really detracts from the overall work. dressing looks the best when you can't really tell it's dressing. And if there's a lot of overspray, it becomes obvious that it's dressing, and like I said, takes away from the finished product. Second reason we don't want to just spray it on the tire is we may end up getting some of the dressing on the brake system. And dressing is made mainly of silicone. Silicone's a great lubricant, and we certainly don't want to lubricate the brake system. That, of course, would impact the operation of the brake system. Not a good approach. So instead of spraying it onto the tire, we're going to spray it onto an applicator. And we've got a couple different applicators in the detail cart. Again, color-coded so we can keep them straight. We've got the blue applicator. That's going to be used for exterior trim, like the tires and any plastic trim. And then we also have these white applicators. These are used for if we're going to apply some dressing into on some of the interior surfaces. So right now we're just going to set the interior trim applicator aside, interior dressing applicator aside, and we're going to use the blue tire dressing applicator. And pointing the bottle away from the vehicle, I'll spray some dressing on the applicator and then just apply it to the rubber, and you can see what a difference it makes. Okay, got this tire. We'll move on to the other tires. And again, if there's any plastic trim or stuff like that, we can also apply dressing to those surfaces to make them look new again. Okay, just checking out our finished product. The vehicle looks good, much better than when we started. And when it comes to detail work, that's really important to remember. And when we're detailing, we're trying to make the vehicle look better, not worse. And if we're using abrasive cleaners, like this scouring pad or something on the paint, or like this brush, or we're not adequately rinsing before we clean, we're going to put some scratches in the paint, and that's going to make the vehicle look worse than it did before we started. And that's the opposite of what we want to do. And when it comes to detail work at the professional level, remember, we're paying attention to the details. We're cleaning those things that the average person may overlook. We're also going to put together a system or do the detail work in a routine manner so that we can do it quickly and efficiently. And a job like this, cleaning this vehicle inside and out, shouldn't take you more than 30 to 40 minutes. Cleanup is just the reverse of the way we did it when we started. So we're going to bring our detail cart over to the product cart. We'll return our products back onto the cart here. Okay. And then we're going to get rid of our bucket of soapy water. So we'll go over to the sink. Okay, so we'll get our wash mitt. We're just going to wring out our wash mitt. And then we'll dump the water down the sink, the extra soapy water. And we'll just, once we wring out the wash mitt and we've got the bucket empty, we'll just hang the wash mitt on the side of the bucket. And then we're going to take the cart over to the inventory basket, and we'll turn it over to the lab assistant or the instructor, lab manager, and they'll check us in. They'll grab the original inventory sheet and confirm everything is back where it's supposed to be, and you're done.